Handwriting is one of the most underestimated yet powerful forms of brain training available to humans. Modern life has shifted learning toward typing, tapping, and swiping, but neuroscience reveals that writing by hand engages the brain in a fundamentally different and deeper way. When you write with a pen, pencil, or stylus, the brain does not operate in a single channel. Instead, it activates multiple systems at the same time. Motor regions control fine hand movements, visual areas track shapes and spacing, language centers interpret meaning, and memory networks encode information. This multi-sensory engagement creates a richer neural experience. Writing by hand slows the thinking process just enough to prevent shallow processing. Unlike typing, which allows words to flow without reflection, handwriting forces the brain to pause, interpret, and understand. This pause gives the brain time to build stronger memory traces. Intelligence is not about speed alone. It is about depth, clarity, and integration. Handwriting naturally creates these conditions, turning simple writing into a powerful learning mechanism that strengthens comprehension and mental precision. Neuroscientists have observed that handwriting strongly activates the prefrontal cortex, the region responsible for reasoning, planning, problem-solving, and executive intelligence. This area of the brain acts like a conductor, organizing thoughts and directing attention. When typing, the motor patterns are repetitive and automated. The fingers repeat the same movements regardless of the letter being produced. In contrast, handwriting demands constant micro-decisions. Each letter has a unique shape, size, and direction. The brain must continuously plan movement, adjust pressure, and monitor accuracy. These decisions stimulate executive control networks. This is why handwriting strengthens cognitive discipline and mental flexibility. The prefrontal cortex becomes more engaged, more active, and more efficient. Over time, this repeated engagement enhances intellectual performance. The brain learns to think with intention rather than reacting automatically. This intentional processing is a core component of intelligence. Memory is not formed by exposure alone. It is formed by effortful processing. Neuroscience research shows that the hippocampus, the brain's memory center, responds more strongly during handwriting than during typing. Writing by hand forces the brain to summarize information rather than copy it word for word. This act of summarization requires interpretation and understanding. The brain must decide what matters and what does not. This filtering process strengthens memory encoding. When information is processed deeply, it becomes more durable. Handwriting turns passive input into active learning. The hippocampus works harder, forming stronger connections with language and reasoning centers. This is why handwritten notes are remembered more clearly and for longer periods. Memory becomes organized rather than fragmented. Over time, this strengthens the brain's ability to learn complex ideas and retain them with clarity. The brain is not fixed. It changes based on how it is used. This ability, known as neuroplasticity, explains why handwriting can permanently alter brain structure and function. Each time you write by hand, neural pathways connecting thought, movement, and language are activated together. Repeated activation strengthens these connections. Over time, the brain becomes more efficient at integrating ideas and actions. Problem-solving improves because the brain learns to organize thoughts more clearly. Intelligence adapts because neural networks become more coordinated. Handwriting is not a passive activity. It is an active training exercise that reshapes how the brain processes information. With consistency, learning becomes faster, understanding deepens, and cognitive resilience grows. Handwriting naturally improves focus and sustained attention. The slower pace reduces cognitive overload, preventing the brain from becoming overwhelmed. When writing, the mind must follow the hand. This physical engagement anchors attention in the present moment. Distractions fade because the brain cannot easily multitask while forming letters. This single task focus strengthens attention networks. Over time, the brain learns how to remain present for longer periods. Mental clarity increases because thoughts are processed sequentially rather than chaotically. Intelligence thrives in this calm, focused state. Handwriting trains the brain to slow down, observe, and understand, which are essential components of deep thinking. Learning is deeply influenced by emotional state. A stressed brain struggles to absorb information. Handwriting activates regions involved in emotional processing and regulation. Writing thoughts by hand helps organize emotions, making them easier to understand and manage. This reduces anxiety and mental noise. When the brain feels safe, learning improves. Cortisol levels decrease, allowing memory and reasoning centers to function optimally. Handwriting creates a sense of control and grounding. This emotional stability supports intelligence because the brain is no longer operating in survival mode. Calm minds learn better, think more clearly, and solve problems more effectively. Creativity is closely linked to intelligence. Handwriting enhances creativity by encouraging exploration without pressure. Unlike typing, which emphasizes speed and efficiency, handwriting allows ideas to unfold naturally. The brain is free to make connections, explore concepts, and adjust thoughts without interruption. This flexibility supports creative problem-solving. Neural pathways associated with imagination and reasoning become more connected. Writing by hand allows the brain to think visually, spatially, and conceptually at the same time. This integration strengthens both creativity and intelligence, making the mind more adaptable. Handwriting benefits both children and adults. In children, it supports brain development by strengthening motor, language, and cognitive integration. In adults, it maintains cognitive flexibility and mental sharpness. Research shows that the brain continues to adapt at any age. Learning does not stop with maturity. Handwriting keeps the brain active and engaged, preventing cognitive decline. Knowledge becomes embodied, meaning it is integrated into the nervous system rather than remaining abstract. This embodied learning improves comprehension and recall across the lifespan. Consistency is the key to lasting brain change. Short, daily handwriting sessions are more effective than long, occasional ones. Each session reinforces neural pathways associated with intelligence, memory, and focus. The brain grows where attention flows. Over time, these repeated activations create stable cognitive improvements. Intelligence is not a fixed trait. It is a skill that develops through repeated use. Handwriting provides a simple, accessible way to train the brain consistently without technology or complexity. Your brain evolves through action, not intention alone. Writing by hand is a direct way to engage intelligence networks and strengthen cognitive function. It trains focus, memory, emotional regulation, and creativity simultaneously. This makes handwriting one of the most efficient brain training tools available. Small daily actions compound into long-term change. If this explanation helped you understand your brain better, return daily, subscribe, and continue strengthening your intelligence naturally through mindful practice.